right, good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. So if you're out in the lobby, you can come on in. All right, well, welcome to NUSD's Transitional Kindergarten, or TK, and Kindergarten Information Night. My name is Jennifer Larson. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Education Services, which means I get the privilege of working closely with our schools around instruction and curriculum and also student services. So tonight we have an exciting program for you, but the first thing I want to do is say welcome, parents of our TK class of 2036. It's a little crazy to say that. And then our kindergarten class right in front of them at 2035. So that's the big numbers we're going to see on their backs when they graduate from high school. Pretty exciting that they're here to start that journey with us. So we have some guests here tonight that are going to do most of the sharing. Really what our hope is to give you an overview of NUSD, what our priorities and goals are, but then really give you an inside look at what you can expect from all of our programs in a kindergarten and TK classroom. So with that, we have our coordinator of multi-tier systems of support who works really closely with learning and teaching, and her name is Erin Fremantle. She'll give a little wave so you know who she is. She'll be up in a minute. Abby Conaris, who is one of our amazing TKK teachers. Catherine Nam, who is our principal of Rancho Elementary School. Melissa Diaz is our principal of Linwood Elementary and our Dual Immersion program. Karina Hedo is our director from the Novato Charter School, and we've got Isabel. Laura is here, there she is, and she's here as our interpreter tonight. We didn't have a sign out in the front, but if there's anyone here who needs interpretation, please know that the equipment is out in the lobby, and Isabel is here to help out in any way she can. All right, and tonight's agenda. First, we're going to learn a little bit about NUSD. As I said, move into the highlights of a TK kindergarten classroom, and then we're going to look at our specialized programs, which is dual immersion, and then we are so fortunate to have our partners at the Novato Charter School here to present tonight as well. And then we'll give you some more details or be here to help support with any extra registration that you may need tonight. And then the panel will be here to answer any and all questions you might have. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Erin Fremantle, and she's going to talk about our NUSD goals.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here with you. I was looking around the room and I'm thinking this is so fun that so many of us that are sharing this with you tonight we're products of this school system. So I think Melissa, Jen, Abby, myself, look, we're all functional and successful adults. The news is good. Novato Unified School District has some overarching goals through which we do all of our thinking and planning and work with our students. The first one that we'll talk about is the culture of caring. And this really focuses for us on recognizing the critical importance of building relationships with our students and their families. We want every child in our schools to feel safe and valued and seen and heard. We want to be considerate how we go about strengthening not only a child's academic capabilities, but also their sense of themselves and their own self-worth. So that is one of the lenses through which we look at everything that we do. The second lens would be, and our goal is the culture of competence. The culture of competence focuses on how we ensure that each child is being a productive, successful member of their classroom and school community. This goal helps us to look at all the ways that we support our students academically, social, emotionally, with behavior, and we have a tiered system of supports that we can implement for our students as we see their needs arise and change. The last overarching goal that we use at NUSD is the culture of excellence. This helps us to engage our students in a really robust, engaging curriculum. You will hear lots about proficiency-based education in Novato Unified. It is a program that we are fully invested in for our students, and what this does is gives our students, our teachers, and our parents a real clear roadmap of what our students are learning and the process that they will go through to learn the things that they need to in each grade. It is through these goals that we design the programs that we will be using at our sites and make plans for our students to achieve success. I think Ashley is going to talk with us next.
Hi, good evening. My name is Erin Ashley. I am a teacher on special assignment at Linwood Elementary School, and I'm also a parent of a third grader at Linwood Elementary. About 6 years ago, the district went through a process to redesign its mission, vision, and student outcomes for the district to both engage all the stakeholders, but really realign everything towards a new direction. And one of the pieces that excited me most was this graduate profile, or what's called the 6 C's. So just as Karen just mentioned, we have very clear student outcomes that are aligned with standards, but it's not just about what students know or the skills that they developed, it's also about the social and emotional skills that students develop that jobs are demanding now, and certainly our students that are graduating in 2036 are going to be needing in order to compete with the robots and technology that they will be experiencing in their lives. So these 6 C's are communication, critical thinking, collaboration, students being conscientious learners, being culturally competent, and developing character. So for those of you that are well-versed with social and emotional learning, things like students being self-aware, being able to identify their individual emotions, recognizing that when they're triggered, developing strategies to de-escalate their emotions and to engage with students, being able to recognize the emotions that other students are experiencing, and then managing their emotions and when to push and when to pull back in those relationships. Understanding that in some cultures, students might need to make eye contact, and in others, not making eye contact is a sign of respect. So it's all of these nuances of emotional connectedness that our students, and certainly our TK and kinder students, are going to be developing the most. And as a parent of Linwood, I can tell you that our teachers are explicitly planning and integrating these skills as part of their daily lessons. So when you walk into a classroom, collaboration is the goal. We're practicing active listening with our young people. So you'll get to see this in action at all of our schools. And equity imperative.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine Naum. I'm the principal of Rancho Elementary, one of the elementary schools in NUSD. And sorry, I've got to take off my glasses to see close. So really, when we're talking about focusing on equity in NUSD, we are really looking to make sure that every student, every family member, every community member is getting what they need. And that doesn't mean, we know that we have 8,000 school students in NUSD, and it doesn't mean that we know that everyone has different needs. And so what we're looking at is to make sure that maybe one student needs something over here and another student might need something else. But it's not just one person standing there and saying, oh, I noticed you're doing this. I think you need this, and I think you need that, and I think you need that. What we're really looking at in NUSD is listening to learn and to understand, and to really hear our community and hear all the voices. And that's what equity is, taking into consideration what does everybody need, but hearing that and then moving forward on that. What does that look like for your TK and kinder students in elementary school? What does that look like and sound like? What we were talking about before with the culturally competent, when we're in elementary school, we are working with the kids to help them learn to celebrate their differences, to really understand that we all have different needs. We all come from different backgrounds. We have different family units. We might use different pronouns. We have different backgrounds and heritages. And helping our students have communication, ask questions, experiences around that, and really learn to celebrate and break down some of those stereotypes and come together. So it's a really, really exciting time where we're all working together, all of the adults and all the students, to give everyone exactly what they need. What do I press next?
Right. Little arrow.
There we go.
I guess that's me. I was about to say good morning and do my good morning song. So my usual audience are 5 and 6-year-olds, so bear with me. I'm Abby Conieris. I am a kindergarten teacher this year over at Pleasant Valley. I've done a TK classroom alone, I've done a TKK classroom combo, and this year I've just got a straight kindergarten. So in our TK and K classrooms, you're going to find across the district a lot of hands-on activities, a lot of engagement, a lot of movement. Some of us like to sing a lot. Some of us don't. I'm a singer. Some of the kids don't like it. In fact, a side note, so somebody was asking about, well, what are some consequences that kids have in kindergarten? And I'm like, well, sometimes I sing. So, but one of the things that I was thinking about when Karen asked me to do this was not only as a teacher, but I'm also a parent of kids that went through the school system here. My daughter's in her 3rd year at college, so she made it out of the school system and went on to higher education. And my son is a senior at San Marin and is hopefully going to do something after he graduates. But I see this as, this is such a nice community to be in. And every school has their own smaller community, but as a larger community, you really get to know the people that you are going to school with. They're sort of like your family until that last year. And when I was sitting here, when my daughter was graduating, or when she was entering kindergarten, and looking at the date, I'm like, oh my God, that's so far away. It's not. It is not far away. Oh, where are my slides, Karen? Okay. There you go. Well, here they are. Okay. So in kindergarten, I really kind of wanted to show you a lot of what we do. Choice time and having that interactive play to meet their needs. They need that social time with each other and not just social time out on the playground. So that can be a little chaotic for them at 4 and 5 years old and 6 years old. So we have choice time in the classroom almost every day for about 30, 40 minutes. And it just gives them that time to be imaginative and interact with each other and build those social skills with one another. We do a lot of social emotional education, so feelings, problem solving. There's something that happens at least once a day that we talk about, and how does it make you feel? And so we're really building that with them. I feel like this year, especially after what we've been through in the last year and a half, that this is an extra special year of social emotional development for them. So they're awesome. I love the littles. So we also teach reading, we teach writing, we teach phonics, math, all of the, your standard curriculum. In fact, this picture up here is of my class this year, and we're in our reading unit for super readers. And so we got them little capes and masks so that they can put on their capes and masks when we're doing reading in class. And they just love it. It's super fun. So anything to make the learning engaging, lots of games, lots of activities that go along with it. Can't stress enough, read. Reading to them in any way, shape, or form is so super important, but also making it fun. Kids coming in and already loathing the fact that they have to read is heartbreaking to me at 5. So, if you get that resistance from them, then lay off. That's my biggest thing. You want them to enjoy it, but lots of options. And I know that a lot of people are always on the go these days. There are tons of options online that you can have your kids reading. instead of doing video games or watching YouTube. So, just a thought. We also do curriculum in social studies and science. TK in kindergarten, we're introducing the concepts to them. We're getting them involved in the education. We're getting them to do activities around those topics. We're not giving them tests on these topics, but we are introducing it so that when they go to first grade and second grade and on, they've already been introduced to the topics. And then obviously we talk a lot about community. And in kindergarten especially, we build a lot on the fact that our community isn't just our school, but our community goes beyond to our neighborhood, and then it goes beyond to your town, and then from there it goes beyond to the county that you live in. And we don't go much further than that, but we do talk a lot about it. And then we do a lot of creating and exploring. These are some pictures from a TKK classroom. Lots, like I said, lots of hands-on activities, really building those fine motor skills so that then when the pencil and writing comes into play, the pencil isn't flopping out of their hand, because that sometimes happens. One of the things that we really want to foster is the love of trying new things and not being afraid to fail at something. And mistakes are great. The more mistakes you make, the smarter you get. You know, teaching the kids that they learn from mistakes. That's how we grow. So really just not being afraid to dive into something and enjoy it and take what you can from it. So that's what a lot of this is about, making it fun and engaging. This up here is a science unit that we were doing about bubbles. And as you can see, everything is really just a lot of hands-on, a lot of mess, which is great until you have to clean it up. But they don't need to worry about that. Last year, we were able to do a couple of remote field trips with the kiddos, which actually has turned out to be kind of fun, because some of the museums and activities that in TK and kindergarten we normally wouldn't be able to do, we're able to do online. So it's not exactly the same, obviously, but it definitely gets them intrigued and excited about things. And then obviously we do lots of library time. Every week we go and we check out books in the library, which is cool. And then, as I had mentioned before, Second Step is one of the programs in the district. Some schools use different programs, but Second Step is a social emotional program that we teach. And it's really about how to solve problems, how to deal with your peers, how to interact with your peers and talk to them. A lot of times kids at this age, they're playing side by side and they think they're playing together, but they're not. They're playing two different things, and they don't understand that communication. So lots of puppet play and conversations with our puppets gets them to start thinking about, oh, okay, I need to actually say something to this person so that they know what I'm thinking and feeling. One of the things that we decided to really teach this year at Pleasant Valley for our kinders is how to pack a backpack. We found that they had no clue how to pack a backpack. So it's all part of fostering their independence and making them feel proud of that they can do these things, that they can do it on their own. And it definitely saves time when we're ready to leave at the end of the day. And then what comes next? Well, that's the district, the screenings, meeting people in your neighborhood who are going to be going to the same school as you, setting up play dates, getting those relationships started now so that when they enter TK or kindergarten next year, they're not deer in the headlights and afraid. And then orientations. And that's it. That's all I have.
Hi, my name is Melissa Diaz, and I'm the proud principal of Linwood Elementary School. As you can see, we're a Spanish-English dual language immersion program. I wanted to give some history about our school. Several years ago, our board agreed to transition our school program to being a bilingual immersion program. So 4 years ago, we started with our TK, K, and first graders. Our first graders are now in 4th grade. And I'm going to go ahead and share this slideshow with you, but I wanted to let you know about some personal experiences after being in the 4th grade classroom a lot this year that has really inspired me. And I want to share that with you because I think that is something as a parent that I'd be interested to hear about. So I'm going to go through this, and then hopefully there'll be some time for questions after the presentation. Awesome. So why a Spanish-English dual immersion program? So we are actually currently, as of today, the only immersion program in Marin County. And our graduates will have more college and career opportunities because they'll have the academic and professional skills in both English and Spanish. There is a growing demand for bilingual talent in today's global economy. And bilingual individuals demonstrate greater creativity, cognitive flexibility, and the ability to solve problems compared with monolingual individuals. This is our program design and our language model design. So I'm going to start at the top left. It's a 50% English speaking population and a 50% native Spanish population. And so the way that we've designed this is that students act as language models for each other, which is really important and powerful in the classroom situation and setting. For our program design, as you can see, our transitional kindergarten and kindergartners, as well as our first graders, are accessing their academic program in Spanish 90% of the day, and 10% of their day is in English. And that will transition all the way through. By the time that they get to 5th grade, it'll be at a 50-50 percentage, as you can see. There are tons of benefits of being bilingual. I'm just going to squeeze this over here a little bit. As you can see, I had mentioned many previously, but this program allows our students to have access to the same standards that all of the students within NUSD are getting as well in their program. But for our students, they become bilingual and biliterate in both Spanish and English. We have a very caring and supportive staff. And as you saw in our goals for our district, we have a very caring culture at Linwood, as do all of our NUSD sites. We are committed to taking the education system and leveraging what we can in order to really have a diverse and equitable, inclusive environment at Linwood. Spanish-speaking individuals, we're looking at that as a strength, right? We're utilizing that as an asset, and we're looking at it as in a positive way at Linwood. And it really supports our Spanish speakers to help maintain their culture as well. And then students develop academic and professional language skills in both languages, opening more doors and opportunities for them. So here are some of the immersion program student outcomes that we're after. Academic achievement at or above grade level, the ability to read, speak, think, and write fluently in both English and Spanish, and develop a positive cross-culture relationship and social and emotional skills. We welcome you to the Linwood community. The NUSD Dual Immersion program at Linwood provides an enriched education, allowing each student to develop the knowledge and skills needed to become a productive and engaged member of our diverse global community. Just a couple of things to highlight that are happening over at Linwood that I know a lot of our states have as well. We have a brand new makerspace that we opened this year that our students are really, really excited to get into. A lot of hands-on play that's happening in there, a lot of collaboration. All of our 6 C's are really happening in that makerspace, and our kids are just really excited to be in there. We also have a wonderful garden that actually produced enough produce last year that we could give it to our food and nutritional services, and it helped feed our kids at school, which was really exciting, and the kids were very excited that that could happen. And then we have a really thriving PTA. They turned me into an ice cream sundae this year, which was wonderful. So one of the things, as I had mentioned when I started speaking with you, is I've had the opportunity, like all principals do, to be in classrooms every day. And as I watch our students who have now transitioned into the 4th grade and they started with us in 1st grade, I'm seeing both our native Spanish speakers and our English speaking students really thriving. And it's such a joy for me. I get emotional about it at this point because they're really accessing the program, and at this point in 4th grade, in both languages. And as they move forward into next year, it'll be at a 50-50 percentage, their ratio. And I'm just so excited to see the benefits for them as they move through. It's something that I wish I could have a camera in the classroom so that everyone can see this and everyone can experience what I'm able to experience. And I'm seeing this also in our TK and our K programs, even as our non-Spanish speaking students are accessing the program and are, now that we're in November, completely adjusted and, well, I shouldn't say completely, but they're able to transition and they know what's going on in the classroom at this point, and it's just really exciting. So thank you so much for having me. The last thing, and I typically always mention this, is that I believe in this program so much that my son is a student in the program, and he's there with me in 2nd grade and has been there since kinder. So we also have brochures if anybody's interested, and we'll be around afterwards if there's any questions. Thanks.
I think we've got Charter up next. Oh, sorry, it is Charter.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Karina Aedo, and I am here on behalf of Novato Charter School. I'm the assistant director there. And I just have to pause and remark on what a privilege it is to be in a room and as a parent to be presented with such a buffet of beautiful, rich programs. I mean, I just can't imagine. So our curriculum is guided by the core principles of public Waldorf education. Waldorf education started as a private school movement, and we were one of the first 100 charters in California that Novato Unified authorized, and we've thrived ever since 1993. So we work with a developmental model, and everything that we do is painstakingly thought of. Sort of, we're always thinking about doing the right thing at the right time. And so you could think of students as being an elastic, right? This rubber band where you're trying to keep them hungry, but also challenge them at the same time without breaking the elastic band. And so the students, especially in the kindergarten, work out of this experience of head, heart, and hands. And in the kindergarten, the hands are at the forefront of their experiential learning. They learn by doing. We used to cook a lot in the kindergarten, and hopefully we'll go back to doing so. It's a play-based model. There's a lot of play, a lot of time outside, no matter what the weather. So students come with all their gear in hand. And the social emotional learning is a crucial, essential component of the curriculum. And a lot of that is worked out through play, through modeling, through this tiered approach, and just working through conflict. If you don't, what was that? Everything you need to learn, you learn in kindergarten, right? We all know that. And so this is really a foundational time for these students. And then the head and the intellect. You know, we don't teach we teach to the Common Core standards. However, in the kindergarten, we lay the foundations for future literacy skills through rich storytelling, games, songs, poems, and a lot of doing, so to speak. School, we don't introduce computers until 5th grade, when we start with just basic typing skills, and that increases gradually through the middle school. And we really believe in protecting this very precious, fleeting time. I really resound with with everyone's experience of their children growing up quickly. I also have young adults, and it was just yesterday that they were entering their kindergarten years. I said all these things. So the kindergarten is a very home-like environment. There are kitchens in the kindergartens. The toys are sort of unstructured and open-ended. And so you might see cars without sort of many details or wooden blocks, and that's so that the children can have their own unhindered imaginative opportunity for play. And the kindergarten teaching team really stays with these students. Right now we have mixed TK kindergarten classes, and the TKs are called caterpillars, and our kindergartners are called butterflies. And then these butterflies move on to go into the first grade. We're very fortunate. We have a lot of younger siblings in our kindergarten classes, and so they're really sort of incorporated into the Novato Charter community in a very wholesome way, much like, in the same way that happens at every other school community environment. Application process. So we have a lottery-based application process. You're welcome to visit the website. We also offer parent tours on the first Tuesday of each month. And our Spanish language tour is on January 25th. And if there's a higher need, we'll schedule more. So in order to participate in this lottery, this is our enrollment deadline. I'd love to answer questions afterwards. Thank you.
I think one of the many things that I am proud of about our district is the amazing opportunities that we offer to every type of learner. I think that you have a lot to reflect on. I think that there is power in neighborhood schools. I think that there is power in a dual immersion experience. I think that there is power in the Waldorf Foundation, and I love that our district recognizes that every family needs to choose what's best for their children, and we're able to offer you those options and those choices. So the next step is enrollment. Yay! And it is a pretty streamlined process. We have been working hard to simplify and make it easy to follow. So if you go to NUSD.org/enroll, if you just go to NUSD.org, it's like the thing in the middle of the page, enroll now. So you can enroll online. If you need help, we're always here in Ed Services to help you. If you'd like to connect with your neighborhood school, they are a friendly bunch of people, and you are welcome to do that as well. Can we answer any questions for anyone?
What is the process for an intra-district transfer? Is that correct, right? Intra, if you're in the district, but
Yeah.
it's not your
So great question, and I'm going to be repeating all the questions because it's also being live fed, but they can only hear through the mic. So the question was, what's the process for intra-district transfers? And so I think I'm actually going to back up just a little bit and just go through the whole registration process because that will include it. So you heard about several different programs. The first step is to enroll in your neighborhood school. So before you're able to put in for a transfer, you do have to first enroll in your neighborhood school. That's how you initiate your enrollment process. So you'll first enroll in your neighborhood school, and it'll walk you through step 1, step 2, step 3. The second button will be that you'd like to explore a school that is not your neighborhood school. So there's 2 different paths. If you're a student or a family that lives in the Linwood Dual Immersion neighborhood, and you would like to not do dual immersion but be in a different school, you'll fill out an intra-district transfer where you're going to tell us the order in which you would like to go to all of the schools. So you're going to end up on the transfer list or the lottery for every other school in Novato based on your preferences. If you are a student who is going to a school other than Linwood, You're going to have to decide on the one other school that you're looking to transfer into. So you're going to put in an intra-district transfer to that one specific school, and you'll be on that one lottery. The other is if you would like to transfer into the Linwood program, that's going to be just a regular intra-district transfer, but you're going to check that you want the Linwood Dual Immersion program. So that's the second tab. So it's tab 1, enroll in your neighborhood school. Tab 2 is, do you want to do an intra-district transfer? If you choose to do an intra-district transfer, those are all due mid-March, and there's a lottery. And so all of those names will be put into an electronic system, and you'll receive a wait list number. And then as spaces are open, we'll be moving students around. Our goal is always in the spring, but we do keep that open, and you won't lose your space on the wait list until it's completely full. And we don't mark it completely full until 10 days after the first day of school. So that's when we have to see who actually shows up. And a lot of times we have students who aren't there, and then opens up more spots, and we can make the move then. But we do try to do the bulk of our transfers kind of in that April timeframe. Now, for the charter school, that's separate and outside. You can choose to register for your neighborhood school or not. Either way, you can go on the website and you can apply for the charter school. But know if you're on the lottery and you don't end up with a space at the charter school, you'll have to come back and either register for your home school or choose another school that you're going to be attending this year. Did that answer? Okay. Any other questions? We've got a great panel here. Yeah. Yes, they are. So the safety protocols for TK are the same as any other grade level. And so we are back in person fully, masks all day. Obviously a lot of hand washing and sanitizing. But as far as being in the classroom, and you guys can speak to what you're experiencing, really it's the masking that is the most significant precaution. Yeah. Oh, great question. All right. That I probably should say is step 1 or step 2, whether you've registered already for your neighborhood school or you're still thinking about that. All of the schools will start to put up, if they haven't already, the dates of their school tours. So you can go on a tour at any school. You contact their front office, and if you go to our website and click the button that says schools, you'll see a drop down and you'll find the phone numbers of those offices. They'll be able to tell you what the dates are. It's probably also on most of their calendars on their websites, and you call the office manager and can sign up for one of those dates. You're welcome to go and see what you think of all of the different schools, but I would always suggest at least go to your home neighborhood school to make sure that you have visited that, since that is the school that you know will be the default. And Catherine, you go ahead and add to that.
Tours right now are virtual until we have protocols that we can open it up to have.
All right, so tours will be virtual. Perfect. And the dates and times are there. Yeah.
To what extent are the TK and K discrete classrooms versus combos?
Oh, that's a great question. And that has to do with enrollment. So I will say that the majority, what's that? Sorry, the question was, thank you for reminding me. What is the percentage, or how is it broken down? How many classrooms are TK-K combination classes versus a TK only or a kindergarten only class? I would say that I want to say 3 schools right now have a standalone TK classroom. I'd have to check my numbers, but there's often a TK-K combo class. We do have quite a few kinder only classes. I will say that we anticipate that looking very different this year and years following as a window has opened up for TK enrollment. The cutoff date for TK has always been December 2nd. Starting this year, it'll be February 2nd, and it'll move back the following year and one more year after that until it's all 4-year-olds. So we anticipating having less and less combos as we open up enrollment to TK. Any other questions? Yeah.
Where they're shared, how do you address that so that TKs versus Ks have a experience?
I'm going to let our TK-K teacher address it.
Slide that was up there. I don't know if you want to go back. Yeah.
I do want to go back. Is it on yours?
Keep going up. It's on over there. Yeah.
blues.
It's a good visual, I think. Keep going. There.
So I can address it.
Abby, can you speak into the mic?
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, we're going to have to repeat each other.
So the idea, did you already repeat the question? Sorry, okay. Okay, so how can you ensure in a combo class that the TK and the K have independent or unique experiences? Thank you. You're exposing those TK students to the curriculum, the standards. You're exposing them to the classroom environment, to the peer interactions. Will they have an absolute unique experience in a TKK classroom? No. But then a kid going into kindergarten who might have a second year of kindergarten is not going to have that unique experience either. So it's exposing them. The hope is that then the next year when they go into a kindergarten, that it's a full kindergarten classroom, and they also have a different teacher. So they do have a unique experience because they have one teacher for their TK year and a different teacher for their K year. Does that answer? Okay.
All right. Anything else? Yeah.
Besides TKK, are there lots of combos throughout the district, or?
Yeah, again, it depends on enrollment in each grade level. We do our best to minimize the number of combo classes, but it really varies from year to year and from school to school. But there are definitely, you will experience combos throughout the district, yeah.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah.
Real quick, one thing that's exciting with the proficiency-based education that we're moving to is that every student is getting we're working towards tailoring the education for every student. So in any classroom, you're gonna have students at either level, high end, low end on one subject, and it's gonna switch. And so even if it's a combo class, just as in a standalone fourth grade class, you're gonna have wide differences in kids. And so one of the things our district is doing is to help meet each student where they're at and push them towards deeper thinking.
So I'm going to try and summarize that for the audience at home. The question was, outside of TKK, are there a lot of combo classes? The response is yes, there tends to be combo classes, vary depending on enrollment at each school and each year. But the response or the addition to that was really one of our priorities in NUSD is proficiency-based education, that culture of excellence. And that program is designed, or the purpose of that is designed to individualize student learning, so that regardless of what grade level or classroom they're in, every student's experience is going to be targeted on their individual needs. Yeah. Yeah.
If you apply for a transfer and you're not selected for that school, can you apply for a transfer to a different school? Or would you just stay in that population until potentially selected like 10 days after the start?
You would stay in that, but you can only apply to one school, with the exception of Linwood, one school per year. So you would stay in that spot until that 10 days after. At that point, it would be over, and then we would start up for the next year, and you'd have the opportunity to put in transfer again the next year, either to the same school or the next. I will tell you that in that time, you will see the progress that you're making on the wait list, so you'll start to get a feeling of how likely it is that you're going to be there, and you can see that for the different schools, and so that is another way to kind of gauge your progress there. And you can always, again, same with registration, you can always call the Education Services office, and I'll make sure you have that contact information at the end of tonight to ask questions about where you are on the list or how that timeline is moving. Yeah.
Does this district do intra-district transfers like every year? You have to like
Good question. No, the duration of the school that you're in. So, for example, if you were to have a transfer in TK, as long as the family adheres to the contract. So when you're on a transfer, obviously attendance is an important a piece of the puzzle, because we need to make sure you're at a school you can get to. Discipline and academic success. As long as you're meeting your goals, the transfer maintains all the way through the end of that school. When you move into middle school, if you wanted to transfer to the other school, then you would start the process over again. Yep. Yeah. What we aim for is we start at 1 to 22. They'll go up to 24 in the lower grades. But I want to say right now we're averaging about 1 to 20, 1 to 22. But again, that's going to vary between schools and enrollment. No, at 4th and 5th grade, we go up to 28. You'll see some 30s, yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
If we're interested in the charter, is that a kindergarten commitment necessarily? Do families typically stay through to middle school?
Oftentimes, yes. Yeah, they start in kindergarten and finish in 8th grade.
The question was, in the charter school, do students typically start in kindergarten and stay all the way through 8th grade? And the answer is yes. Typically, the students do go all the way through middle school in the charter school. All right, well, with that, we have about 15 minutes. We will stay in case there's any questions that you want to come that might be specific to your family or situation. But we also have bilingual registration for anybody who wants to go into room 107. If you wanted to ask any questions specific to registration or you wanted to start the process, we've got lots of help in there. But other than that, have a wonderful night, and we're so thankful that you came out this evening.